Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Camera Tuesday, we're going to talk about Sigma's Sony E-mount offering. So let's dive right into it. Now, first thing we have to understand the E-mount itself. Now, Sony is gaining market share, which is rather surprising given the fact that there is one player in the market space that is 100 plus years old and there is another market player who is 75 years old. So given the fact that somehow this company that is barely 2 decades old is just like, tada, I'm here, that's a very big deal. On top of that, there are also a lot of new people coming from different avenue of video making because of rise of TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube. Enough people are there. You may think, oh, that's a small share. No. That's a big ass share. That's like a surprisingly large amount of people are coming there. So that's there. Now you have to understand Sony, when they came into it, of course you could not expect Sony to directly bid slap Canon and Nikon. That's not gonna happen on Mark 1 at least. So their Mark 1 offerings, meaning the lens that they announced in the day one on market release, were like very lightweight. And back in the days, if you are talking about like early 2011s and 15s, people used to joke about they're gonna put in future everybody's gonna buy Sony body because their body was genuinely good, ahead of the curve, and they're gonna put Canon lenses on it. Now like, wait a minute, why Canon only, not Nikon? Well, Nikon had a problem that Nikon never went into what we classify as drive-by-wire lenses. I have made a short video about it, and the problem was that it was super easy to mount Canon lenses to anything. That's why you will find Canon lens mount to almost every camera company, simply because it's just electrical wire that they have to connect. So fundamentally, people always wanted to, it's easier to do port that. So Sony had a Mark 1 offerings that were like okay, and people started to, but they started to capture market. So now they have released Mark 2. Now Mark 2s of majority of the lenses that they are refreshing is genuinely good, as in some are genuinely good, much better than even Nikon and Canon's offering. So okay, that means buy that, be done with it. Problem is, unless you are idiotically rich, I'm not, that creates a scenario where majority of the people cannot afford it. Now given the age of E-mount, the fact that it started as early as 2010, there is enough time has passed that enough third-party companies have started to release whole lineups, be it Sigma, be it Tamron, whole lineups for E-mount dedicated lenses. And that's what we are talking about. And that gives a very good advantage where you can buy top quality Sony body and get a good enough lenses from the third-party manufacturer and get a very great experience. And not to mention, E-mount is almost like semi-open. Now, truly open lens mount is only Micro Four Third, where it was like any company can do it. That's why Blackmagic can do it, Panasonic can do it, Olympus can do it, because it was an open lens mount. But E-mount was not like that. No other company can technically directly copy paste this puppy, but they did allow, like, wiring diagram, because they knew if they're directly gonna compete with basically Nikon and Canon, they had to had some, like, ease good offerings. So they knew for a fact that all these lens manufacturers that have been manufacturing full frame lenses for much longer than us, they're like, they can take care of the thing. And that's what happened. Sigma allowed very good offerings very early on, and Tamron also allowed very cost-effective offerings very early on. So let's understand the first lens, Holy Trinity lenses. These three lenses are generally classified as, if you have these three lenses, most of the time, most of the things that you need to do will be taken care of. That's it. Like, if you have these three zoom lenses, f2.8, you're done. Like, and given the fact that how sharp modern lenses are, given the fact that we can zoom in pixel by pixel, so people think, oh, it's not sharp enough. No. Even modern lenses that is built properly, it will be mind-bogglingly sharp, like sharpness that will basically make any old film lenses look like, dude, what the hell. So, and that's why you will find many cinematographer, they are using old cinema lenses just to, on their digital sensor, just to tone it down. It's like too goddamn sharp. Modern lenses are too goddamn sharp. So fundamentally, every company, the moment they launches a new system, like let's say Nikon announced Z mount, Canon announced E mount, R mount, they're like, we are gonna release Holy Trinity lens. That's the first one. Now Sony also did that, but Mark 1 was not great. However, Sigma was there to rescue, and Sigma released 24 to 70 f2.8, which was genuinely better than what Mark 1 could do. Mark 1 Sony offering can do. Now be very mindful, that was Mark 1. If you directly compare to Mark 2, you will, like, that's not good enough. However, Mark 2 is ludicrously expensive. So from cost to performance ratio, this is still very good. Then we come to 14 to 24, again, not the most amazing latest and greatest lens, but from price point of view, it's a really good, competent lens. It's like, it's a lens, you buy it, you don't think too much about it. It's like, buy it, forget it, use it. Don't think too much about it. That's really good. That's the whole point of Sigma lineup compared to Sony's own offerings. Good price to performance ratio. Now you may be like, what about the granddaddy 70 to 200? Right now you can do 70 to 200 from Sigma onto Sony. There are lens adapters that will allow you to do that, but natively nothing is launched yet. It should be launched very soon. But these two lenses, specifically 24 to 70, is a really good offering because there are only three native offerings, that is from Tamron, Sigma, and Sony. Sony Mark II one is genuinely good. Mark 1 is really expensive but very cumbersome and not really that good. Sigma offering is really good. If you're still low on money, you can go to Tamron also, but this is a really good offering. So Holy Trinity is taken care of majority of the time. 70 to 100 is coming very shortly. Then we come to prime lenses. That's another aspect. Many times people are like, dude, I am not going to touch zoom lens. And again, I could also understand that. Like, what if you know what you want to do and you do not want to carry extra weight? That's also desirable. So Sigma kind of showed off the world. And you must have heard this rumor that Canon is like, they're gonna have giant hole. Okay, Canon had giant hole in their lens mount, and so did Nikon. And they announced that they can make very large lenses, like as in very bright aperture. And you must have seen Nikon knocked that was like below f1. That's the whole point of it. That because they had such a large system, they can actually make it. But that's technically not true. And Canon started to lol at Sony. It's like, look, you are only stuck at f1.4. I can go to f1.2. Despite all of that, given the fact that there was the first f1.2 for mirrorless full frame was from Sigma, that was for Sony. That's the hilarious part about it. So the lens hole, basically the mounting hole, does not matter too much. You can make very large aperture if you want to. Now, is this good lens like a 35mm f1.2? Yes, for those people who need it, because it's a big lens, it's a very expensive lens, it's a chunky boy. It does have some side effects of having f1.2. There's like just some mathematical things you cannot work around, but it is a beast in low light. Meaning, if you are a videographer who was using, let's say, A7 Mark 4, A7 S3, they're like, shut up and take my money. If you have this lens, that means you can do a full grade movie shoot on candlelight dinner. Like, you can literally have, oh, if it's a romantic movie, candlelight dinner, you just use that candlelight itself. Done. Go home, sweet dreams. This lens is so goddamn bright. So for people who need low light and background blur, like something that cannot be replicated, they're like, shut up and take my money. And that's the amazing aspect of it. It's genuinely good, but be mindful, not really desirable for majority of people. But if you want that extra edge, it can do that. And not to mention, Sony also released f1.2 for their 50mm. So right now there are two f1.2 options if you really need to flex. And then we come to other primes offering that are generally majority of the offerings are in f1.4 and lighter offerings are in f2.8. Because let's say you are a traveler photographer, you know what you're gonna do, you're happy with it, and you're just like, hey, I'm just want to travel light. F2.8 in modern sensors is more than good enough. Lenses are lightweight enough where it's like, it's not gonna be like, this is more than good enough. And what MMs are offering? 20mm, 24mm, 35mm, 45mm, 65mm, 90mm, 105mm. There are some that is being worked on right now, but these are available right now. Many of them are double offerings, meaning you can choose f1.4 or f2.8. So Sigma has really thorough lens lineup. You'd be surprised, like they have it. They're like, they got choose your own lens. So what about the whole ecosystem? That's the end game here. Autofocus is really good because E-mount was an open system. They really started to patch the system up, because again, many times you would have noticed that Canon is really good. The moment you put someone else's lenses, like Sigma lenses, Tamron lenses, it's like performance is never as good. Now, imagine it this way. Sony is a new company. They do not have enough experience, enough back and forth to actually polish it. How the heck their lenses will compare? Answer, very badly. Now, then what the hell happened? Because Sony opened their system, at least like some part of it, they really started to do bug fixing. Basically, autofocus went from good luck to it to like, it's really good. It's really good. At this point in time, if you're buying any modern Sony camera body, any modern Sigma lenses, you will have good experience. And given the fact that how fast Sony has become, the only thing you will notice in autofocus is like, if you had a G Master Mark II lenses, it's like little bit faster, nothing more. Like, it won't be like, whoa, like that person is, let's say, getting a hit rate of 95%. You won't get hit rate of 85%. You will most likely get hit rate of around 90+%. So it's not like day and night difference. However, there is a day and night difference in cost. You're talking almost twice as cheaper. So fundamentally speaking, price to performance ratio is really good. And generally, because that part of the lens mount is not open, optical stabilization is an optional thing, meaning it's not something that every company want to give. And Sony also does not want that to offering, because it does require it to calibrate its sensor stabilization with it. Because if you do not have both of them working with each other, the output will be garbage. So that was one good thing about Micro Four Third. They actually figured that part out, how the heck you have lens image stabilization and sensor stabilization working with each other. And the results that people used to get out of Micro Four Third system was amazing. Like handheld telephoto photography, people like, dude, this looks like a tripod. Nah, just lens stabilization and sensor stabilization at the same time. But that's very difficult to do. So Sony is like, and I'm hopeful someday in future they will fix it. But there are certain things that only lens stabilization can remove, like how rotational system, meaning if your lens goes like this, only sensor stabilization can fix that. There are similar things going for lens also. There are certain types of shakes only lens IS can remove. So it's not a good thing to not have IS, only rely on image stabilization. It's a good option, but like, you would, best cases, have both of them. So that's the one thing that you will give up if you're buying in like third party system. But especially in telephoto, because it becomes rather simple, you can buy, let's say, 150 to 600 that is the longest that I found, f5 to 6.3. It does have optical image stabilization, so you will get useful result if you're doing bird photography or sports photography. Then we come to 100 to 400 f5 to 6.3. that also has optical image stabilization. So it's not like it's not there, it's just like it's not prevalent. Now be very mindful, specifically with Mark IIs. If you have a person next to you that is using Mark II lenses, G Master lenses, don't expect to go toe to toe with it. But it will be good enough. It will be like, that person is first, but you are like close second. You won't be like, okay, I'm very far back. No, you're close second. You will be good there. But price to performance flat out is tangibly better. What does that mean? That simply means that person will be only able to buy 2 lenses, while you can buy 3 or 4 lenses, or buy 3 lenses and have everything else like batteries, extra accessories, flash, things of that nature. So price to performance ratio is genuinely good. And this is another aspect why the heck Sony started to take care of the market so quickly. Lens offering from third party, which has much better price to performance ratio. And there are even more lenses announced. I'm genuinely hoping that they release a tilt shift lens. This is one thing that I have not seen yet, but I genuinely want that lens to be there. Like, that would be amazing. So ecosystem wise, it's very healthy, it's very active. This is just from Sigma. Sigma is more than enough, where it's like most people will be like, dude, I buy Sigma only and I'm done. Like, you only want one point of contact where it's like, hey, I have Sigma lens. Every lens body has its own language that you know, you understand, you know the feel of it. You're done, you're good, you go home. So that's really good at this point in time. And this is another reason why Sony is becoming so successful. So this was my presentation on Sigma's offering on Sony E-mount. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free. And as always, thanks for watching.